don't think they're going to be in the video. I don't know if he's still. I don't think he is.
I don't think anybody will.
Hello. My voice is knackered.
Yep.
Not sorry. We're going to answer some questions.
Yeah, and introduce you guys to us.
And I guess Fybe.
Mm-hmm.
Fybe.
Fybe.
Or Fybe.
Yeah, it's Fybe, like vibe.
Yeah. Come Fybe with us. I guess we just start who we are. You first. It's your company.
Well, it's all of ours.
It's not registered in my name.
So I'm Rachel. I'm a mom. I do lots of stuff on the side. I own mainly cross stitch.
What do you like to do?
I like to cross stitch.
I
I like to smoke cigars.
You're welcome.
I like to play video games.
No,
Lots
you're
of
welcome.
video games. Valheim.
Valheim's fun.
It's one of my faves. Pokopia is fun. But mostly when I'm not busy with other things, I like to cross stitch.
Mm.
How about you?
I'm Jonathan, not John. Jonathan. Or you can call me hubby.
I was gonna say.
That's what I'm on the server now. I have been deemed resident hubby. I'll work full time. I like video games. I play a lot of disc golf. I like to smoke cigars as well. You're welcome again. Valheim's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's probably one of my top games. I play a lot of Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
That might be a problem. But I've been playing a lot less. But it's now officially done. I'm here for the ride.
Mm-hmm.
I just work here.
And for like editing and stuff because
Editing.
You're an editing guy.
Yeah, I'm the no guy as well. I'm the no man.
All right, well that's us. I mean, you guys had some questions specifically for us that we can get into in the.
Do we want to ask do we want to start with the us questions and then do the 5 questions last, or do we want to do the 5 questions and us last?
Well, we're talking about us. We can do the us questions now, and then we can go into
Okay.
the 5 stuff. A lot of these are like handles from threads, and I apologize if I slaughter the pronunciation of your handle.
I won't do much better, so don't let me do it.
So the first one was from threads at Kishi.
That's what it looks like. Ishi.
Pizza with or without pineapple?
No.
Pineapple.
No.
Yes.
To be fair, I can't eat pineapple.
You can't.
Yeah, it hurts my tum-tum.
Yep, I like ham and pineapple with green peppers. It's one of my favorites.
I can't do green peppers either.
Nope. At a little treat on threads, is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yes.
He thinks it's a sandwich.
So-
I say it's a taco.
No. Tacos are a sandwich. So everything is either a sandwich or soup. Everything in the world, including humans.
We are soup.
No, we're a sandwich.
I'm fairly certain a hot dog is a taco.
No, it's a sandwich.
Because it goes whoop.
So everything is either soup or sandwich. That is my philosophy. I've seen, what is it, the cubed rule of food or whatever.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I know about it. It's wrong. Sorry.
All right, next question from Discord. Shannon makes, what are some other businesses you've started up? Mainly cross stitch. The LLC that Fybe is going to be under is Spruce and Signal Media LLC. So that's like the registered business portion of what we're doing. And that's like a marketing and media business. So website design, copywriting, marketing, paid advertising.
Everything falls for you. It falls into that realm.
Right, exactly. So,
I mean, you've been doing small business stuff for the better part of 10 years.
yeah, like I've started up my own brands that have had varying degrees of success, but I feel like mainly cross stitch and Fybe have been the ones that I'm most excited about.
I guess technically I have some.
Yeah.
I've been... I love content creation. Mm-hmm. I love content creation. I've always wanted to be a content creator, and I kind of sort of was. I started doing content creation back in like 2010, 2011. Really stupid stuff on YouTube. And then I was able to get a capture card, and I did stuff like that with Halo 3 and COD 4. I was that kind of kid. And then I did Minecraft, MC PvP and Minecraft PvP, Hunger Games and that stuff, where I did a YouTube channel with a bunch of friends. And by no means was it like huge, but 5,000 subscribers, 500,000 video views. We were on Twitch pulling in 80 concurrent viewers back in 2012. I mean, Twitch was still young at that point.
Yeah.
Really our only competitor. There was one YouTuber who was in the same realm as us. That was our one competitor, really. Not to be mean to the other people, but we were just bigger than they were. He was just bigger than us. And he's still a YouTuber, and he's got 1 million subs. And I guarantee we could have beat him. I know we could have.
Hill I will die on.
Yeah. I'm not going to give that channel information. If those who know me know of it, that's fine. But feel free to search for it. But I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Next one from the Cozy DH on Discord. Who would win in a fight, Batman or Superman? With references, please.
I don't have specific references because I forgot to look it up. But I know for a fact it exists. The answer is Batman. Unequivocally Batman. And all I'm going to say, White Lantern. I don't... She wouldn't know the
I'm
answer.
not the comic book
I'm not a big comic book person. Like, I like Marvel and like DC, but I haven't read comic books.
Mm-hmm.
I know of some of the lore, but like anyone who says Superman, I know Superman's strong, but Batman. Always Batman.
Batman.
I mean, I've said it in the Discord. Be Batman. If you can't be Batman, be yourself.
That's a good rule to live by.
It's a good rule. Be Batman.
From Threads, Ella X Library. Our love story.
Well, which one?
Which one?
Do you want to say it or do you want me to say it? Because there's like 7 different pieces to it.
So, I would just like to put it out there that I have had a crush on this man since...
Before I was a man.
Since we were like
teenagers,
early teenagers.
Yeah. So I guess we can, if we're going to start, we're going to start at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It's stupid. I remember the exact moment I first saw her. It's really silly. I think I was 16, she was 14.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whatever. It's 2 years. Calm down. And nothing happened. It was at church. We met at church at youth group. Well, that's when we first saw, but we still met at church. She was on the swings with her brother. That's when I first saw her. I remember that. It wasn't until another couple years though where we actually met, like spoke to each other when I was messing around with the Rubik's Cube. And I did, this part is in the Discord because it's under my introduction, like who I am.
Yeah.
I was messing around with my Rubik's Cube, which that very Rubik's Cube is up there somewhere. I'm not getting it right now, but it was my original one that I've had since junior year of high school. It's up there. I was messing around with it, and she was a dork and came up to me, excited about it. And that's originally how we met.
Yeah. Looking back, how did I have the courage to walk up to you and just be like, hey, it's a Rubik's Cube?
I don't know.
I have such severe social anxiety.
I don't know.
This is really funny.
We tried to date a few times throughout the years. She came over to play League of Legends one time. I said she was too much like me, which was a bad thing in my mind at that point.
Apparently that's a bad thing.
I was like 18 or 19, so chill, okay? We went to the DR. Actually, I don't know which order these were in.
I think the DR was before.
I think the DR was before. I brought the same Rubik's Cube. I think you were next to me on the plane.
One of the directions.
One of the directions. I think it was on the way there.
Yeah.
And I say you followed me around like a puppy.
Yeah.
She did. But like there was multiple times, I think there was 2 separate times where we tried to date, and it just didn't work. And then I had a pretty nasty breakup. I mean, obviously with my ex, I had a pretty nasty breakup, and Rachel's aware of this. I rebound texted her for, hey, do you want to hang out or something? I actually didn't show up that night. I texted her, I was like, hey, can I stop by your place at work to just talk? Didn't show up, actually. I pulled in to where you were working. I could see through the window, but I was like, nope, I need closure. So I drove back, and I had an argument with my ex-girlfriend. It's like 3 a.m. that day. I think another week or so goes by, and we do want to go on a date.
Yep.
I'm going on a date.
Because, like, you had flaked, from my perspective.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that kind of sucks. But then you messaged me back, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to give him one last chance.
Yeah. So we went on a date. That was our first date. And then exactly 1 year after that, we got married.
Yep.
We had a very short engagement. We got married literally a year after our first date. It's one of those things, you know. We've been married for, it'd be 11 years in August.
Yeah.
Together for 12 years. So, I mean, I think we're doing something all right. We got 2 kids. Really, that's the gist of our story. I don't know if there's any key details I left out.
You want to tell them how you proposed?
No. No, I don't.
Maybe for another time.
No. I have it on video.
Yeah.
Somewhere. I don't want to talk about it.
All right,
it was
we'll wrap that one up.
It was cheesy.
Cheesy ones are the best ones.
No. Anyway, he's a puppy.
All right, on Discord, I'm assuming this is Mickey Mash with the vowels removed. It's MCKY_MSH. They asked for PC specs.
I wrote mine down because I don't remember. And it is a little out of date at this point. It could be an upgrade in maybe the near future.
Yeah, I didn't write mine down because mine are worse than this. So this is the best you get.
I am a dad gamer, so I'm 1080p gaming out here, 60 FPS, nothing crazy. But I have an AMD, it's an AMD system, AMD Ryzen 7, 5700G, 8-core processor, 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM. I know, DDR4, like I said, it's a few years old at this point. AMD Radeon RX 6600, 8 gigs of GDDR6 for the GPU. That's really the important pieces. Going over the motherboard and the case and the fans isn't all that important.
Well, it was a pre-built.
It was a pre-built. I mean,
I've
never been into PC building. I did build my very first PC with the help of your brother.
Skincare.
My skincare routine is I wake up.
I wake up like this.
And I mean, I shave.
Skincare, I have had acne since I started puberty. And it hasn't gone away, like ever. So, I have never been able to find something that works. So that's fun.
Future me. She didn't answer this question, did she? She uses witch hazel. Not much else. She doesn't really have a skincare routine.
The last question that Mickey Mash had was, is there Neurospice?
What flavors of Neurospicey are we? So here's the fun thing. Well, yours is a little bit different than mine.
I had an eval, so I can talk about mine.
You've had an eval. So why don't you go first? You've actually had an official eval.
So we suspected ADHD, but I had a full eval done with a psychologist, and my diagnoses were severe depression, severe depressive disorder, and severe anxiety disorder, which combined apparently present very similar to ADHD and having trouble organizing things and staying on task and yeah, all of that.
Yeah.
So while not necessarily Neurospicey, presenting very similar to ADHD.
Yeah.
That's been fun to learn.
So the 2 things I'm officially diagnosed with are dyslexia. I got that diagnosis when I was in elementary school, like 2nd grade. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that doesn't go away. And I've only recently learned that that is its own flavor of neurospicy mental health. I didn't actually know it was a full thing. I just thought it was, you can't read for shit. So yeah, I've got dyslexia. I also have bipolar. That is official. That was diagnosed around 16, 17.
Type 2.
Type 2. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a botanist. That's an inside joke. I think there's manic or hypermanic and hyperdepressive. I think that's type 1. Mm-hmm. Again, not a doctor. I think type 2 is like depressed and more depressed or whatnot. So like that's what that is. So
yeah.
Bipolar. No, I don't really I get manic, but like I don't have insane manic episodes. And then there is a potential, again, this is where we step into the realm of we don't know, of
this speculation.
Right, of being on the spectrum, autism spectrum somewhere. There's a lot of similarities with some of my idiosyncrasies. Autism is in my family, so there is a genetic disposition to it. So it's one of those things is that we're not 100% sure, but we think.
Yeah.
There is some autism sprinkled in there. That's my flavor of Neurospicey.
What keeps you going even when things get hard and it feels like nothing's working? How do you stay motivated? That's from Merlin. On Discord.
I said we getting deep out here. I don't think that's an easy question to answer. I mean, I think there's 2 different categories. The category of starting the business. Mm-hmm. And then, I mean, I think there's the category of being... the sole provider. Mm-hmm. She has an income, but it's not enough to provide for everything we would need.
Right.
I mean, we probably could eventually get there, but currently it's not. So as far as providing, I am officially the sole provider, the quote-unquote breadwinner. This isn't about gender roles. It's just the way the cards felt. So don't get mean.
We'd actually talked about wanting.
I would love to be the stay-at-home dad. Trust me.
Even when we first got married.
The original goal was, like, before we got engaged, and the conversation was, she be the breadwinner, I'd be the stay-at-home dad, and that was the plan.
Yeah.
And then it didn't happen. So it's still we're still trying to make that dream.
We're working on it.
But as the sole provider, I don't really have a good answer. I remember calling my dad not a couple years ago, he's been dead for 5. It was 2019, 2020 maybe. I called him because we were in West Virginia.
It was pre-COVID or?
It was during COVID.
So it was 2020.
I was like, how do you work for 40 years and not, and just how do you do it? And he's like, you just do.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I guess. So it's like making sure everyone's taken care of. We have 2 kids. Want to make sure they're taken care of, make sure that we have a house, we have food. That's really the motivation, is just make sure everything's still taken care of. And then when we retire, we have something we can do. We have money. It's not just I have to work until I'm dead.
Yeah.
And when I actually retire. So.
Yeah.
And then for the Fybe side, I guess there's a question you can answer your side.
Yeah, I think one point I wanted to make was, when things get hard and it feels like nothing is working, how do you stay motivated? I'll be honest with you, sometimes the motivation just isn't there, and you have to keep going anyway.
Yeah.
And that's kind of just part of life in general. Motivation can come and go, but as long as you have a goal in mind, then you can build the steps that you know are required to get to that goal. And it's helpful to rephrase sometimes and think of things in like each of these small steps, instead of it being thinking about the goal constantly. It's thinking about the small steps as wins every time.
Yeah, and I guess when it's hard, my motivation doesn't matter. Once again, things need to get done. People need to be provided for.
Yeah.
Where I'm at mentally has no play into that. I still need to make the money.
Obviously, it would be better if you could just automatically feel great about everything you do, but life is just like that sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, something I tell my kids is like, feelings can suck, feelings can be great, but the nice thing about them is they come and they go, and they don't last in this moment forever. So sometimes you just gotta ride it out. Who am I vibing with on Threads? Which one of you is it?
That's her.
Me.
I go through and I like things on Threads. I was mainly cigars, and now I think I changed mainly lost.
Yeah, that's right.
So if you're getting likes on your comments that say from mainly cigars and mainly lost, that's just me.
Yeah.
I'm just lurking and liking things. I'll comment sometimes. So yeah.
Yeah, it's me. If I'm commenting on things as like Fybe_art, that's me.
Yeah. Also on the YouTube front, obviously I'm uploading, but any comments, I think there's been one comment on YouTube. It was her that replied. So
yeah. Yeah, I've done like the most social media marketing and stuff.
There have been multiple people who asked the same question, which has been answered. Mm-hmm. So we're not gonna go back and try to find out who asked the same question. So my apologies.
Yeah.
If your name was not mentioned for the question that you asked, because it might have been already answered. Apologies.
All right, next question. Vibrant.Hughes on Threads. What advice do you give to someone trying to build something like this from the ground up? Tech tools or tricks? I'd say probably the first thing before you get into the weeds of actually building something is to know, is this something people are going to use and they want? Because if you get started on building it and then you go live and there's no interest, then you've kind of wasted your time. I don't want to say wasted your time, but you're at the point where you have to spend time marketing after the fact, and that's a whole problem. But as far as like tech tools, tricks, we're kind of going about this in there was a lot of work done previously with the tools that we have implemented. So we've kind of skipped a lot of that development stage, but I know a lot of people will build from the ground up with a variety of tools, with like JavaScript and stuff. But the reason we've been able to get this kickstarted so quickly is because we're not going that route. I think that's pretty much what I have for you there. Don't do that.
What was the moment?
Mom doing mom things on Discord. What was the moment you realized you needed to do something? Well, speaking as like Etsy's a problem. Probably more than a year ago.
I was gonna say yes, but
it's been a hot minute, and up until then, I kind of felt like it was we can educate the public on how to avoid these things, but obviously people aren't searching for that information before going to Etsy, and then people who are new to, say, cross stitch, for example, will end up buying a pattern and it's trash, and then they decide they don't like the hobby, and realistically it wasn't the hobby that's the problem, or the art it was the art really that was the problem. So it's been a steady decline. It started with drop shipping, and now with AI it's just become absolute slog to find things if you're browsing, if you're not looking for something very specific. And even then, if you don't know what you're looking for, you could get scammed. So like I said, it's been more than a year, but realistically speaking, there have been other startups that have tried to do this, and they've gone about it in different ways. I'm not saying those ways are bad, but they're different in a way that the community hasn't felt like it could rally behind them and felt like they wanted to support them. So I was like, well, what can we learn from those things, and what can we build that solves those problems and gives back to the community? And I pitched the idea on Instagram, and I was like, hey, what if? And everybody was like, oh, yes, please. So that's the answer to that question. A lot of ideas and projects stay in our heads only. Was there a moment you knew you were going ahead with working on this, or something that happened that pushed you to begin? I could add to previous, I guess. This is Riviere on Discord. I think the moment that I really felt like this is something that we could actually do and could work was when I pitched it on Instagram. Right before I had pitched it on Instagram, I need to look up what company it was, but it was like a skincare company or something that had made a reel about how they're running their business differently and how their employees are paid like a percentage share of what the company makes. And as long as the company is doing well, everybody does well, so it benefits the employees to do their own like pitching of things and basically be more involved, kind of like shareholders, I guess, is the best way to equate it. I saw that and I was like, has anyone tried to do this with artists? Like, the artist community is super supportive. It could work. If we get enough traffic to the site and get enough sales, then we can profit share with artists. So it's like, that's different. And I pitched it and it blew up. So I was like, well, let me call my website guy. Is this possible? And he said yes. I was like, all right, let's just go.
It was slow at first, and then you called out, and you called out Etsy, and you went from a few hundred to a couple thousand followers.
Yeah, I think we're almost at 10K on Threads now. All right, from Kishi again on Threads. They're wondering about art templates, digital brushes, art stencils for selling stuff. I think probably I can answer this question and a lot of other questions with the same answer. And that is, if you are making things with your human hands and it's not a prompt going into an AI, then you can sell it with us. Art templates, digital brushes, art stencils, as long as you created them as a human artist, we're good. If there isn't a category for what you're looking to sell right away, all you have to do is contact us and we'll figure out where to put it.
Yeah, it's all going to be very fluid.
Yeah.
I mean,
because
this is in its infancy still.
I'm a cross-stitcher, and I guess you could say kind of a pixel artist, because cross-stitch is pixel art and I design patterns. So like, my laser focus on the arts is obviously kind of pigeonholed. So there are a lot of arts out there that I don't know a whole lot about, and the fact that your art isn't on the site is solely because of that. That's all. I'm not trying to exclude anybody.
I don't art. So.
Also, I'm seeing coloring books category that would probably, I have to look at where that would be put.
Like someone made their own coloring book?
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, but we could definitely have that. If you drew your own coloring book pages, that'll be there. Monster.exhibit and someone else on Instagram, Maylene_H_V.
2.
.2.
V2. Pod services?
Print on demand services. Printify, Printful. Yes, the plan there is to eventually have official integration. Right now, we're working with a vendor's setup, a plugin setup that doesn't currently have print on demand services built in. But I emailed support and they have it on their radar as a future add, and we also have it on our radar in the future after we launch to get it set up. So it's not like going to be an at launch thing. But the plan is for you to be able to connect your account in your vendor dashboard, and then you could route all orders through that print on demand service. There's going to be a lot of people who are concerned about print on demand because unfortunately the use of AI has kind of sullied the perception of print on demand. But what we're doing is we're allowing human created art to be sent to print on demand services. So all of the vendors and their art that gets posted to the site has been human reviewed to make sure it's not AI. So you know for a fact that if there's an art that you really like that's on Fybe and it goes to a print on demand service, you're not supporting AI art anyway. So I can elaborate on that more if people want to chat about it, but that's the plan there. Threads. Sandra B. Doig?
Sandra B. Doing?
No, there's no N. Doig.
I don't know.
Okay, so outside the US, Canada, yes, if places outside the US are going to be able to be vendors. We're located in Maine, in the United States of America. Obviously, that complicates things for a lot of people, and that's okay. What we're trying to do is we're using Stripe for payment processing. So Stripe is handling tax remission and tax calculation and all that jazz. So you don't have to worry about it, and we just have to monitor it and make sure that it's going to the correct places and being registered as such. So that means that whichever country's Stripe services, we will also be able to service. From a shipping perspective, that needs more investigation because obviously shipping is going to be ridiculous, plus tariffs and all that stuff. So there's a lot more to investigate that will happen in the next 30-ish days before launch. Worst case scenario, we might be looking at US, Canada, if for some reason shipping is a huge concern and issue. With the information we have at this point, the intention is to service all the countries that Stripe also services. Pottery Ceramics, can I join with those, or is it just fiber arts? It was the same person. So the original vision I had pitched to cross stitch, and then knitting and crochet people were like, hey, we could use this too. I was like, okay, fiber arts. And then all of the different artists were like, hey, we need this. I was like, you know what? It's just additional categories on the site because we already needed digital in place for pattern downloads, and we already needed shipping in place for finished fiber arts items anyway. So what we've done is we've just expanded the categories under which products can be categorized.
I'm petting the puppy.
It's fine. So yes, if you do pottery and ceramics, there will be a whole section for you there with specific attributes that you can attach to your product so people can know what you're making. Next question. Lucky Lori on Threads. How will moderation happen, and will you have stricter rules about hate speech? We have not solidified the moderation packet yet. However, from the very beginning, my goal has been...
Moderation won't be automated in any capacity.
Yeah, moderation isn't going to be automated at all. We have the option with the tools that we have on the site, but they are disabled because they are AI tools. And that defeats the purpose. So what we're planning on doing is we're having a group of vendor mods who have access to the moderation area, and they're going to help us by following a specific subset of categories. And we have moderators from both sides of the political aisle and in the center. So
We do.
Yep. So the goal is to avoid items that have hate speech that could be harmful to members of certain communities. Hopefully as many as we can reasonably moderate for, but again, we're all humans and that's kind of the point. There's gonna probably be some issues, but I feel like the community as a whole, the art community, is willing to have those hard discussions and talk about, well, what does hate speech mean? Is this hate speech? We could take a pending product to the vendor mod group and have a discussion on that specific instance. So I think that's probably where it's also going to be where Fybe shines, really, is where we're trying to have these discussions and have everything be super transparent. And if something comes up, we can get community input. Basically, we're all in this together, and we're looking to make the platform as safe as possible for everybody.
Someone's gonna get pissed off though.
Someone will.
It's just how the world works.
Yeah, but the hope is that we can work it out. See it from their perspective as well.
We're all adults.
Yep. All right, another one on Threads, electricseahorse_art. Okay, first and foremost, that's a dynamite name.
No, it's electrifying. I'm here all week.
Similar question. Can Europeans join? Stripe services your area in the EU? Then yes. Hand-drawn Shadowbox cut files. I don't know what that is, but if you made it yourself, I'll find a place for it. And I would be open to learning more about how you do your art. CSV Imports. And they're wondering if you can import a file like that into Fybe. And the answer is yes. So in your vendor dashboard, you're going to have an import and an export, and those will both do that function. I'm planning to do a test run of that with my data from Etsy. So maybe I can do a video on that as a walkthrough. Mom doing mom things on Discord. NSFW content. So here's the thing about that. I'm planning in the privacy policy to not, because like you have to have certain disclosures about who you're marketing the site to.
Well, there's also a difference between not safe for work and pornographic content.
True. That is very true. But just as in general, I was going to say that we're not allowed to market to people below the age of 13 anyway. But like, still that brings up, there may be people who don't want to see certain types of content on the site. My hope is to eventually have some like account filters in place, so you could like check a box. I want to see this. I don't want to see this.
Yeah,
blah, 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 blah.
I mean, we're not Google, but I know Google has a safe search feature.
Right.
Where it blurs.
Those are like algorithmic though.
Right, but
and
I mean,
we don't have anything.
Right. All we would have, that's algorithmic, but we would have the idea would be,
yeah,
not safe for work content is got a tag on it.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever account setting also basically either removes or blurs those tagged items.
There are multiple ways to go about doing it from like a
logistics
standpoint. One I was looking at was having like the customers' accounts being in certain categories.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to like opt in to be in the category that would show you NSFW content, right? So that's in the works.
There's also got to be a clear definition of what not safe for work.
Right, exactly. Because our mods have to tag it.
Well, that, and I mean on Twitter, there's been a really bad habit of people marking things as safe for work, but it's still like very inappropriate things or like inappropriate fan art, women in bikinis That's not safe for work. If I got caught with that at work,
Yeah.
that would not be good. That's not safe for work content. Not safe for work content is, and it doesn't even have to be sexualized. It could be gore. There's multiple different categories of not safe for work, and we got to make sure we actually understand where that line is. Things that intentionally are sexual, or intentionally violent, or intentionally gory.
Yeah. Different NSFW categories for each of those things, probably.
Yeah. So it's gonna be fluid, as is literally everything else on the website.
Yeah. But like, we're building this for you guys, so the intention is there to make this as widely accessible as possible. So we want everybody to feel comfortable. And if there's things that you aren't comfortable with, then you should be able to check a box and they don't appear. Another question from that same person. If SEO isn't required, how will our shops get traffic? That's a great question. I'm going to answer the SEO part before I answer the other part. For search engine optimization, which is SEO, for those that aren't familiar, it's basically keywords, optimizing your content for keywords that people would search to find your stuff, right? Etsy has had a partnership with Google. I don't know how many people know this, but to augment their search function. So their search has functioned kind of like a Google search engine. Typically, that's not how marketplaces function. Typically, they're kind of separate. So you have the marketplace search, which searches just within the marketplace, and then you have like Google, Bing, whatever other search browsers that can also access the data in the site so that it can be indexed on all these different areas, so that if you search in Yahoo, for example, you can pull up Etsy listings. So Fybe is going to function like that, the two distinct things. So our search is going to give you results for the products on the site, and we don't have any weird mumbo jumbo going on where it prioritizes one thing over another. If you're searching for cat slippers, I don't know, if you put in cat and slippers, it's going to show you cat slippers from all different people, and then you have the option to filter based on what you want to see, price, low to high, whatever. Think Amazon, I guess, but less complicated, because if you put in the effort to fill in all the boxes, you're going to be all set. So that's the website portion of the SEO. And then obviously you have we've set it up so if you are filling in all the boxes, you don't have to worry about all the other platforms. It's going to automatically put your information that you've added in the relevant boxes. So you don't have to be an SEO nerd. And it's gonna take care of it for you. But if you want to, you do have advanced options in your product listing. You can open up that and you can change things if you want to. But
It's going to take me a long time to edit.
yeah, you're welcome. Our shop's required to have tracking and insurance. So we're integrating shipping so that you'll be able to go to your order and get a discounted shipping label. Your customer is going to be able to see the different shipping options that are available and select one and pay for it. So you don't have to eyeball all of that and factor it into your pricing. As far as tracking, it's going to auto-populate that data, kind of like Etsy does. So you're all set there. Tracking insurance, so like insurance for your packages, that would be handled through the shipping partner you choose. So like you'll have the option to insure something for a certain amount, but that's going to be on you. That's not going to be on the platform. Kind of like on Etsy, where you're responsible for fulfilling an order. What happens if a shop refuses to fix an item or an order issue? That's a good question too.
I don't think there's an answer.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a clear-cut answer, because really that'd be kind of my domain.
Yeah.
Start with a conversation.
Yeah, exactly. Talk to the person. I'm sure there can be things that are worked out, but this is like they specifically, like if a shop refuses.
Right.
So if a vendor refuses to fix something,
there's not an answer, because it's all circumstantial.
It is circumstantial, but I do know that the way we've set Stripe up is that Stripe is responsible for chargebacks, refunds, that kind of thing.
I think it's a nuanced conversation, and unfortunately, I don't think there's clear-cut, all-encompassing answer. It all depends on the circumstances. Did an item get stolen in the mail? It's like there's so many different circumstances. But realistically speaking, it would start with me, I guess, because I'm the vendor guy. I'll be dealing with vendor issues. The vendors have issues, or if there's an issue with the vendor, that's something I'd be working on. So get used to me. So I mean, it all depends. There's no answer. There is no real answer. You will just have to
case by case,
cross that bridge when we come to it. I mean, worst case scenario, someone's removed from the website. That's absolute worst case.
Yeah.
Best case scenario, a conversation fixes the problem.
Yeah, honestly, it behooves sellers to work with customers if there's an issue. Honestly, just like in any other business. So, but if we have to bring the hammer down, I guess that's the thing that we can do.
Yeah.
I think the last question I have on here is taxes for non-U.S. sellers, and I kind of touched on that already because Stripe is handling that. Because Fybe is the merchant of record, so it's our job via Stripe to register that we've done X amount of sales in an area the way that it's set up. So you guys shouldn't have to worry about that.
If we didn't answer your question, either because we missed it or we didn't answer it to your satisfaction.
Satisfactory is the game.
I like that game. Let us know. Comment either on this video, or drop a note on Discord, or let us know on Threads or wherever, and we'll do our best to actually get an answer. Things are still very small right now. Obviously, there's a bunch of people in the Discord that are doing an amazing amount of work. There have been questions about employment. No one's getting hired immediately. No one's getting hired probably within the first year. I'm going to make that very clear. Unless things like absolutely blow up.
Yeah.
There's no one getting hired for a little while as far as like being on payroll.
Yeah.
Not even us.
That's a whole other can of worms.
Yeah, not even on us. We're not taking any salary for at least the first year, potentially more. The first person we probably will hire will probably be someone in the realm of accounting, because there's a lot of money that I should say, there will be a lot of money that we need to make sure is accounted for, and having an accountant will help with that.
Yeah.
We already have someone in mind for that, so if you are someone like that, my apologies. When we do start getting to the point where we want to hire, we're not even going to be taking a salary for us yet, because I'm still the main source of income. We'll hire folks on, and then as things grow, hire more folks on, and eventually the goal is for us to both take a salary. You've gone over the salary structure and whatnot, and the kind of the goals and there. We don't need to go into detail into that right now. I just want to make sure that is aware. I know people are excited about this. People are excited, rightfully so, I think. The people are cautiously optimistic.
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so. So make sure your concerns are voiced. We're taking them seriously.
I like to say there are no stupid questions, because there are multiple people who might have the same question.
Well, I said it in the Discord. One of the developers I work with at my job, she said there are no stupid questions, just easy answers.
Yeah, exactly.
So ask the question, voice a concern, let us know.
Honestly, you may have thought of something that I haven't, or John hasn't. I think maybe to add to the employee discussion, our plan includes saving the proceeds for quite a long time so that we can...
Obviously, with a new business, you want to keep all income, all money that you make, all profits you have available for obviously taxes and emergencies, and making sure things are going smoothly. That's why we're not taking a salary anytime soon.
Right.
Is that all that money is going to go back to the company. That could include employees, I don't know. So once things are kind of settled and we know where things are at, then profit sharing will have entered the conversation, and we'll have an idea of how we want to do that. It's not profit sharing for just employees, correct? It's profit sharing for vendors.
Vendors in my head are employees as well. Sorry if this was a long video. We had a lot to say, and we have a meeting later in less than 2 hours. So I'm sure more questions will come up, and we'll address them at that point.
Boom.
Boom, we did it.
All right. I gotta end the recording. No, the puppies are in the way.